with Late Enough with Momma J from 7 to 8. If you were with me earlier today from 2 to 3, you got to tune in with Ian Stevens and I. And now I'm here. It's late enough. We're just chilling. I have a very interesting guest with me now. As always, I do find them. They are throughout Tampa Bay, St. Pete, and everywhere here in Florida. And so this evening, I have, drum roll, Mike Jacoby. Oh, Jacoby.
Makes no difference.
He says it makes no difference. He is, after all, straight from East Germany, where he actually, when you were a little boy, you said, right?
Yes, very little.
When he saw the actual wall go up. I mean, this is very cool. We got some history in here.
Well,
just
actually,
with
by
Mike.
that time, I was already in West Germany.
Already in West Germany. Well, he went on the right side of the
We had
wall.
to disappear from the other side.
Yes. Well, as you can see, folks, it's going to be a very interesting show. Mike Jacoby is actually the license holder for Steve Seibold and Mental Toughness, a graduate of the Bill Gove workshops for speakers, and former Schnitzel House owner, but now officially owner of the Strudel King. See, woohoo! So
we ship nationwide.
Oh, even better. So if anybody is out there and you really want some authentic German takeout, like apple strudel, cheese strudel, Black Forest cake, wow, he's got some really good stuff going. Definitely check him out at strudelkingtampa.com. You can go on there and order. So anyways, we have someone in common, 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
Steve Seibold.
Seibold, yes.
Seibold. Potato, Jacoby.
Names are horrible to pronounce in America.
It is, this darn English language. Anyways, so I, like yourself, did that free speech workshop that he did.
Mm-hmm.
I did get a certificate. You got a certificate?
I think so, yes. Somewhere.
It might have been a while. And then you actually went through the Bill Gove workshops with him.
And his wife, yes.
And his wife. And now you and him are like elbow buddies. And
good friends and business partners.
yes. And you get to have like parties and cookouts with each other's families and stuff.
Well, we're a little bit too far apart for that. But otherwise, yes.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It was just a spur of the moment, divine intervention type of thing happening today. He was tracking me down. He's been calling me for the Steve Seibold something or another, which we didn't quite
get into yet.
No. Because I'm like, let me audition him first, see what he's really about.
You might regret it.
Ay. We shall see. We shall see.
Yeah.
So, you live in Tampa.
I do.
And
over 20 years, 22 years.
Over 22 years. You have a very beautiful wife.
Well, thank you.
She looks 30 years younger than you. I'm just saying.
I've heard this quite a lot recently. Actually, when we went to Malaysia and checked in at the airplane, people sometimes looked at my wife and at me and said, you don't belong together.
It's okay. It happened with my mother and my father. I love you, Papa. He transitioned last year and everything. But so how did you get involved with Steve doing what you're doing? And then also you got your Strudel King going. How are you juggling this stuff?
Well,
tell us.
Several years ago, I was in the restaurant. It was actually election season, and one of my customers was going out to colleges to recruit college students. So I offered him, we were similar political opinions, and we talked about, hey, it would be good if I come out and speak to them. That never materialized, but on the other hand, I always enjoyed public speaking. I've done public speaking in the past. I've spoken in front of about 100, 200 people once a week for about a year.
Is that a rush?
Oh, I love it. And once I spoke in front of 3,000 people.
Total adrenaline. Because, see, I want to get to that point where I can do that, because that's the whole reason why I stumbled upon.
Right. And so I did,
Steve.
Steve's free workshop first, because I was undecided. There was somebody else I was considering taking the course with. And then I signed up with him. And then I did 1 year of private coaching with him and really learned the Bill Gove system. And I did about 50 speeches in front of Rotary clubs in the Florida area.
Oh, wow.
Yes. You want to hear one of my little stories?
Yes, tell me your little story.
Okay. See, it's one of the craziest things to go into a German restaurant in America.
You're kidding, right?
Mm-mm. See, when you come in, I lose my feet. When you come in, you could order a turkey cooked in grease, served on china. If it's lunch, you might be rushing to finish. And at the end, you ask for a check.
Oh, okay.
Crazy.
I did get it. I hope y'all did out there. He went through a few countries.
Right.
You didn't get it, Zach?
I guarantee you most of the jokes made I probably won't get.
Yeah, he is underage, people. He's my son. I've now adopted Zach as my son.
So, but this is, that's what you call a little vignette. And so your speeches are made out of these little stories.
Oh, so like if I said to somebody, it's really fun when you go into an all-black club and you ask for a white Russian.
Yeah.
Is that kind of similar?
You need to be very careful on the air with that.
True story, though.
I understand. Still dangerous in this world. Politically not correct.
I was young. I was just having fun. I wanted to order a drink. I like hip-hop music. It's now called twerking. Back then it was just called regular booty bopping or something. I don't even remember. It's that long ago.
Sure.
And I'm not prejudiced at all, because I love people of all colors and nationalities. I'm Momma J after all. Peace, love, and unity. And I'll be darned, my son's father at the time, when we were together, we go into this club, we're with his cousin, down in Miami, no less. And I'm like, can I get a white Russian? And my son's father at the time, he goes, shh. I'm like, what? He goes, will you look around? Come on. Hello. I'm like, oh, yeah. Can I have a white Russian, please?
Yep.
So
that's when it happens when you mix the drinks up with the people.
Yeah. So that would be a vignette?
Yeah.
Okay. Was that a good one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We're getting somewhere. So, why were you calling me for? It was for business.
Yes.
Don't worry, people. It's not like that. His wife would kill me. She would kill him. No. This is totally business oriented.
We were actually...
Were you trying to recruit me?
We are working on the Fat Loser book.
The Fat Loser book.
Yes.
Yes. Comply or die, people.
That's the first chapter, yes.
The first chapter.
And Steve Seawold likes to say things like they are. He doesn't
mince words. You know, when I was going...
There's a very simple theory behind it.
Right. Totally.
Every diet works.
Every diet works if you actually do it.
It's we the people who don't work.
Right.
We the people who don't follow the diet are the problem, not the diet.
Exactly.
And that's why he wrote the book, A Mental Toughness. What you need to do mentally.
Right.
To stay on the diet.
Exactly.
For example,
here we go. He's going to give an example.
8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
You feel hungry.
Mm-hmm.
What should you do?
Not eat.
What else should you do?
Drink a lot of water.
No, first of all, you should celebrate.
Celebrate.
That you're hungry.
Celebrate.
Because that means you're losing weight.
Oh. Celebrate when you're hungry at 8 or 9 o'clock.
Because if you go to bed now
you're losing
hungry,
weight.
then the body needs calories overnight and you haven't eaten anything for 2 or 3 hours. Now you're actually losing body weight.
Oh.
So being hungry late at night is something to be happy about and not something to remedy.
Oh. Now that's a new theory.
Yes. But isn't it interesting?
It really, truly is interesting. This is going to be a good show.
You see, that is called mental toughness, and that is called taking a negative and turn it into a positive to make it happen.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are not a typical straight from Germany German. You are a very nice, comical guy.
That's why they kicked me out. I have a sense of humor.
That's a good thing.
I know.
It's rare to have that in common sense.
Yes. Talk to my wife. By the way, just for a little sideshow, my son is an Eagle Scout.
An Eagle Scout. Do you have a tattoo somewhere?
No.
Okay.
But she's studying electrical engineering in Gainesville. Graduates May 3rd. He's
Congratulations.
President of the Honor Society for Electrical Engineering in Gainesville.
What's your son's name?
Ralph
Jacoby. If you were watching right now, your dad is totally speaking of you and giving you mad props, dude.
He doesn't
Rock on.
He doesn't have time to watch. He's studying for exams this week.
Yeah, but here's the cool thing about the show. The cool thing about the show, it's live streaming right now, but you could send him the link.
And then he can listen
and he could watch it.
Okay.
After the exams, after he calls you, say, "Hey, Pops, I got an A."
He wouldn't call me for an A.
No?
Nah.
What would he call you for? Money?
No, A+ maybe, but not for an A.
Oh, so that's just eh?
Eh.
Oh,
he's a 3.95.
Ah, gotcha.
A is normal for him.
Right. It's a matter of good, best, and then world class, where you're top of your game.
He actually already has a job with Texas Instruments.
Really? Fantastic. Congratulations. So. Proud papa here. Yeah. Advertising for his son.
My job.
He's got the bragging rights going on right now. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well.
So how come you only had one kid? Why didn't you have a daughter?
Ask my wife. She went on strike after the first one. She said, that's it.
Oh, you must have done... Never mind. I'm going to delete that one out of my brain because I was totally going to go in a bad direction because I've had 2 children myself, 2 boys.
She's only 105 pounds. She's very slim and very tiny.
Yeah.
So one pregnancy was tough for her.
So how did you and your wife get together? How did that happen?
That's a loaded question, you know that?
That's why I asked it.
Do you know the correct answer?
I don't know if I want to know the correct answer.
I imported her from Malaysia.
Wait a second. Was she a mail order?
Yes.
She was a mail order?
That was before the internet. So it was truly a mail order.
Wow. This is a very interesting show. He's not only from East Germany, that went to West Germany, that saw the wall go up, but has a sense of humor and actually got his wife from a real mail catalog. I mean, this is why...
the first time I ever saw her outside the picture was in Los Angeles at the airport when she arrived.
Really?
Because at the time I didn't have the money to fly over to Malaysia.
So that show that they have now... 90 Days to Engagement or whatever. Yeah. Have you seen that?
No, I don't watch shows like this.
Oh, come on. It'll be reminiscent of you and your relationship with your wife. Try it sometime.
Look at that. You want to know the full story?
Yes. This is very interesting.
So I wrote to her sometime early January Because she wrote me back. At that time, it took almost 10 days for a letter to go there and back.
Remember that, people.
Before email and anything.
Snail mail.
So she wrote me back, and it was just about to get the letter back over before her birthday. I think I either made it on the birthday or one day late.
Mm-hmm.
And then by May 21st, she was here.
So were you writing to her in German or English?
No, English.
Or?
We're both fluent in English.
And so
She's
she
fluent
was...
in English too.
Oh, okay.
In Malaysia, they actually learn English in school, at that time at least. Then they stopped it for a while. Now they're doing it again.
Oh.
So she was almost as fluent in English as I
So
am.
how old was she when you had gotten her out of the catalog?
She came over 26.
At 26. Okay, cool. That's good.
Now, here's the rest of the story.
Uh-oh, there's the rest of the story.
So I had sent her the money for the airline ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it would be not easy. Even at that time in 87, it was not easy as a single woman to make it into America past immigration.
Ah.
Because immigration law in America says, unless you can prove it, we automatically assume you want to immigrate into America, even on a tourist visa. So you have to prove that you have enough hold in the old country that you will return.
Ah.
You have, as the application holder, have to prove that.
Right.
So I said, did you apply for your visa? Oh, the travel agent said no problem. You check for your travel agent said no problem. Well, I was living in Albuquerque at the time, 11 o'clock Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
The phone rings.
Right.
Just came back from the embassy. They turned my visa down. Now, that was 1 o'clock in the afternoon in Malaysia.
Uh-huh.
Her plane non-refundable ticket left at 9 o'clock Thursday morning.
Mm.
Less than 48 hours. Did you ask why? No, nothing. Okay. So
You didn't give me a chance. You're too quick, dude. Slow down.
So I checked around and I called the embassy. I already had the phone number because I expected something goes wrong. Talked to the wife of the ambassador.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember. I talked to her personally. She's a single Malay. You're a single American. Automatic turn down.
Oh, that was prejudice.
No, it wasn't. That was the rule. I knew the rules.
Oh, but he knew the rules.
But that, I said, ma'am, we only have one problem.
She's pregnant.
I am here on a green card. I am not American citizen.
Oh, the loophole.
Yes.
It was a loophole.
And as you know and I know, even if you would get married, you would have to leave the country for 2.5 years before the visa is available. That was the legal time, according to the State Department, for Malaysia at that time.
Wow.
Well, that changes things. So what do you need? I need it in writing. No, there was no email.
No.
There was nothing. But Susie had written me a letter, the very first letter she ever wrote me, and I kept the envelope. Because on that envelope was a very important number.
Her social security number? Birth date?
No. The telex number from the hotel she worked at.
Ah.
See, at that time, a telex was a legal document.
What happened to the good old days?
So I asked her, is a telex acceptable? She said yes. Now it was midnight.
Ah, okay.
You remember what a telex is?
Actually, no, I don't.
Okay, it's a typewriter on both sides.
Right.
And you type on one side, and then it transmits the signal electronically to the other side, and then it types out the same letters.
Wow. Do you even know what that is?
No, he wouldn't.
A typewriter is like 100 years before my time.
Exactly. So it wasn't, a typewriter which, converted the signal into wavelengths. And
I'm thinking Morse code,
something similar to that, yes.
And then it was like attached to a typewriter, and then somewhere it was the prehistoric computer.
Something like this. So anyhow, I called around travel agencies, airlines, but anybody who might use the telex. Most of the people were already on computer or nobody was there. Western Union, Yellow Pages, wow, $85, but we can't guarantee delivery. That wasn't helpful. There was another 800 number from Phoenix. I was in Albuquerque. So I called. Lady answers.
Sweet.
At 1 o'clock in the morning.
Awesome. She
That's
worked.
what I thought. And she said, wow, I need to send a telex to Malaysia. Do you have an account here? No. Do you have a Visa card? No. Well, sorry, I can't send you a telex. I said, ma'am, we have a problem. Turned out she was from Scotland. So she knew the European system. You can go into hotels, and then I told her the whole story. She finally said, okay, give me the telex. Gave her the telex. 20 minutes later, she called me back. I sent her the check the next morning. Here she said the one thing why I tell you the whole story, and that's one of the reasons we're talking today.
Because of the telex?
No. Because she said, you know what? I normally go home at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
I was just here doing some bookkeeping. I thought I'm here anyhow. Let me answer the phone.
So divine intervention made it happen.
Absolutely.
Divine intervention actually happens all the time.
Much more than people want to realize and acknowledge.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm telling the story.
Rock on, brother. I'm German too.
So,
I'm
why
German,
said,
Irish, Native American Jew.
for whatever reason, you knew I needed to talk to you today so I can be here.
Yes, exactly. And I really needed somebody to fill in my spot for tonight. Otherwise, it was just going to be you and I, Zach.
Am I not good enough?
Well, you are like my son, so unless I was going to have a teenage conversation. So, son, how are your grades? What have you been doing in school lately?
Anyhow, so that's the rest of the story on that, you see.
Very cool. You're metaphysical, aren't you?
Mm-hmm. You have to be.
Thank you. Oh, you are perfect for this show because that's what my shows are all about. It's with a metaphysical, spiritual undertone on both my shows.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to seed people and inspire people and everything
Think and
else.
grow rich.
Yes, exactly. I'm all about this stuff. And
So is
Steve, we're now on a first name basis, Steve, even though you haven't officially met me. But I actually liked his course that he offered.
Yes.
And everything, and I did most of all those little questionnaires, and then the very last one I was like, oh, but I'm broke and I suck right now and I can't really answer this, so okay, let me just and then all of a sudden I'm getting a call from you. I'm like, uh-oh.
When did you finish the speech class?
A week or two ago.
Oh, that's short. That is amazing because most of my contacts are older than that.
Oh, really? Yeah, it was just a few weeks ago.
Okay.
I was like, holy crap, they actually sent me a freaking certificate? No way. That was amazing. But I really liked him because he just seems very matter-of-factly, very personable, someone I can relate to.
Yes, very much so.
Would speak in the same way that I would and about stuff. And so... Are you going to call him now? Tell him.
No,
send him a text message. Have him call in.
I'm not going to
If
call
anybody
him.
wants to call in, you can. What's that number?
I don't worry about
The call-in number is 813-639-8255.
Thank you, Zach.
Excellent job.
On the ball.
And now people, you know why he's my adopted son.
Yes. If I can only find this always. I have the hardest time finding this one particular thing I'm always looking for. I'll find it eventually. I'll show you why.
I'm usually looking for my keys.
Yeah, they're not inside my phone.
Or a credit card or something, you know. So I showed you that I have, this was just my first book of his.
Mm-hmm.
The 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class. I freaking love this book.
This is excellent.
Zach, you should read this book. Seriously, since you're an up-and-coming little business dude. You're not little, though, by any means. You're what, 6'3" or something?
6 foot 260.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
He would make a good bodyguard for when he's like 25. Right now, he just plays football, and you're innocent. That's what he keeps telling his real mother. Yeah, right. Mom, I'm innocent.
Yeah, well, some people believe in dreams.
But you said that his the Fat Loser.
What did you call me?
The Fat Loser book is the good book.
That is actually the Fat Loser book is a book Steve just came out with January 1st. It was just recently published, and you can download it. It's a free ebook, and you can download it at www.fatloser/Jacobi JACOBI and / and just sign up for it. And it's about 100 pages, 90 chapters, which really goes into every diet works. We, the people who don't follow the diet, don't work. And comply or die. If you don't comply with losing your weight, you will die earlier. There's no discussion about it.
And
there is hardly any diet or any overweight which justifies not to go on a diet and not to lose healthier. If you have the goal to see your grandkids and to live until 80 or 90 years old, you absolutely need to go on a good diet.
I've been told I'm going to live well into my hundreds, like 120. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm just a teenager then.
You need to comment?
I'm a teenager still. What's up? Hey. Oh, sorry. That's my other Chiquay coming out.
See, one of the things, of course, in the whole mental toughness program
for the future,
that if you're not motivated about something, if you don't have a goal you want to achieve.
Exactly.
And then work for the goal, because just wanting the goal is nothing. You need to work for it.
Oh, yeah. I'm on that track because I've been a procrastinator. It runs in my family, procrastination. And I love you, Mom, and everybody in my family. And so I'm personally getting to that point that I want to walk my walk instead of just talking my talk. I want to change my talk into the walk.
See, Steve originally was actually a tennis player in college. And then he later was in Sarasota. In the tennis academy, he actually helped train Andre Agassi.
Oh, we have a connection, people. Yes.
Yes. So, and one of our people who are part of this weight loss program we're doing here is Don Yeager.
Oh.
Don Yeager lived with Walter Payton the last few weeks of his life and wrote the autobiography of him.
Aww.
Don Yeager, you might enjoy that. Don Yeager is one of the few people who actually beat Michael Jordan in a one-on-one basketball during Michael Jordan's Las Vegas tournament, charity tournament, which he has once a year.
Sweet.
And Don Yeager actually was together with Warwick Dunn when Warwick Dunn went to the prison in Louisiana where the murder of his mother was incarcerated and confronted him and only said two things to him.
I forgive you.
All he said.
But bam, people. Forgiveness. That is the key to
and Don Yeager is very much involved in Warwick Dunn's project right now to build houses for single mothers with children. He has built, 136 houses. Warwick Dunn. So Don Yeager is part of our team.
Sweet.
And he's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
No, the first time I met him.
Yeah?
I had no idea who is Don Yeager. Never heard his name in my life.
Yeah, me either. Until right now.
Three people in this on a small thing in the hotel. We had one of our mental toughness training going on, and we had a break. And I said, with all the things you're telling me, you should write a book.
And he's like, kind of did smiled. Already.
He only wrote 35 best-selling books already.
Oh, only.
So I met him a few months later again.
I love when you have moments like that.
And then
oh, really? You do that? Oh, my.
He just smiled, and then I met him later, and after I found out who he really was, we just had a good laugh about it.
That's awesome. I love meeting down-to-earth people, really.
Yeah.
Like, I had a guest today on my earlier show who is in the film industry here in Florida. He came from California, Ian Stevens, and he was telling the story of Walt Disney himself picked him up when he was a kid because his father was a consultant to Walt Disney. How cool is that? I was interviewing somebody that Walt Disney picked up as a little kid.
Do you know some of the famous speakers? Do you know Brian Tracy?
Not personally.
But you've heard about him?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
I'm just really
No,
honestly,
just getting into it. I understand. Look, 5 years ago I didn't know about these things either.
Let me tell you this. I'm going to share with you a little story, okay? I literally was a massage therapist for 15 years, and I have been interested in the entertainment industry and all that for a very long time. I've done different elements of it, primarily through artistic dancing and then stand-up comedy, improv, stuff like that. And I kept asking God, yes, people, I talked to God. I'm like, I need to stop going back and forth and floundering around because I wanted to close one career to open up and see what else I would be good at. Because I no longer wanted to be in a pigeonhole. And so I've been searching and searching and searching. This past year, I allowed myself to go fully into retirement for massage therapy, and it finally dawned on me, I want to get into public speaking. And then I went Google searching, and that's how I came across Steve Seibold and watched his information, and I was really intrigued by it and everything. The fact that for the first time ever, I actually used Amazon.com to get his book.
Amazing.
It's truly amazing. He inspired me that much. Yeah.
You know where he's going to be in 4 weeks?
At your house having a picnic?
Oh, no, something a lot more important than that.
What?
He's going to be only the first speaker ever to be invited the second time to the Oscars.
Oh, that's right. I did pick up on. I remember watching that video. He was talking about that in the intro before he started talking.
I actually have, and I couldn't find it right now. I have this picture on here from last year from the Oscars.
He was with Halle Berry.
Yeah.
Yep.
He actually texted me the picture.
Aww.
I don't know, for whatever reason, I always have a hard time filling it on my phone.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
Yeah, sure. So.
Very good. So how have you liked being a public speaker? Other than the fact you get an adrenaline, have you been making a good living from it?
No.
No. The truth comes out, people.
It's very, very difficult to break into it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I've done customer service, a special customer service program called Net Promoter System. I really wanted to combine everything, but the public market is basically dead right now. Nobody in the public has money to go to these big events.
True.
Like we used to go. And the corporate market, unless you have a name, nobody will talk to you. Nobody. Okay.
You think I'll get a name with Momma J?
Maybe. You'll find out. Well, it's all a question who listens to you. All you need is one person liking you, give you one chance, and you're in it.
Ah.
Okay, but if you listen to Steve, even after he hooked up with Bill Gove, it took them over a year, or right around a year, before they got the first booking, and Bill Gove was already known. The reason they didn't want to give him booking because of his age, because he was over 80 years already, Bill Gove.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
So, but once they did, and then it took off like crazy.
Yeah. I've recently, Bob Proctor.
Yes.
I have.
You do know that I shared the stage with him.
You do?
I did, yes.
You did?
2 years ago.
High five.
Sorry.
That's
My
to make
mistake.
sure y'all are waking up and you're paying attention.
And last year was Brian Tracy.
I think I've come across him, but I haven't actually watched him yet. But Bob Proctor, I liked him. I liked that he was speaking metaphysically. I feel honestly that if the whole world would wake up and realize that metaphysically this is how we're supposed to really live life, it would shift so many things. And people would realize that living through your heart and following your heart and allowing your mind and heart to align with each other and going after what you really, really want and staying focused, anything can be achieved. Realizing the true power within yourself, because we are divinely made to do anything and everything, just like the man Jesus did. Yeah.
I agree. But the problem is that people are so negatively pre-programmed from you out. And from every time you hear it, no, you can't do that. Well, you can do that if you want to. Anything happening to you, good, and here comes the other part, bad, you're fully responsible.
Oh, absolutely. It's your own thoughts, it's your own feelings.
Here's the problem. Most people can't confront that they did something bad.
Oh, are you kidding? I do it all the time.
Yeah, but most people don't. They don't want to say and admit that they're doing things which are not optimum survival. So that's why they can't acknowledge that they're also responsible for the good.
Yes.
So that they have to put it on somebody else.
So
it's
project.
not me. project to somebody else.
Project onto someone else, and that's where I'm really owning more and more of my own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm recognizing when other people are in certain pattern behaviors that are the opposite, and that's where there's a lot of friction that takes place. And that usually happens when you're dealing with family, because that's where you're conditioned the most.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's a generational thing. And you have to be that individual of the family that if you want to break it, you have to go beyond the comfort zone and the pattern. And that's where my situation with my family lies.
Well, let me put you at rest, okay? When I was 20 years old, I basically, how do I say this best? Stopped communicating a lot with my mother.
Oh.
Okay, because I saw all the negative tendencies, and ultimately she ended up with Alzheimer, which was not a surprise.
See, that's what I'm trying to avoid. But I've been hit in the head way too many times.
Prior to that, in East Germany, she was a member of the Communist Party. That gives you an idea of her mindset. And she never changed. She died with no friends.
Oh, that's so sad.
No, it's not sad, because she
chose it.
Yes.
She chose it.
Okay. Her sister was financially much better off, my aunt, than she was.
Mm-hmm.
When my grandfather died, her sister would have given her well above the share she needed, 50-50, just because she was a sister and she wasn't so lucky.
Right, right.
My mother took things out of my grandfather's house, accused her own sister of being the thief, including police report and everything.
Oh, my.
And then still wanted the larger half.
Oh, my.
That's
some twisted stuff going on.
Very. So, that just gives you an idea. No, everything which happened bad to her, it was herself. And it took me a long time to realize it. When I was a teenager and so on, oh, yeah, we were best friends. And
right, right.
But, eventually I woke up. And fortunately I did. And she never saw my son and my wife until she was in the Alzheimer home and barely could remember it anymore.
Aww.
Because she wasn't willing to settle the inheritance with her sister. That was the only condition to see the family.
Stubborn.
Wouldn't move her.
So how did you end up being this jolly guy with a sense of humor?
Hey, you learn,
Yeah, that life is a joke and it's all an illusion, and we create what we want, good or bad.
Let me just fly you through my early childhood.
Okay. Ready?
I was born in 1949. My mother did one of those things, which at that time it was a huge thing. She never married my father. Which made her mother, who was very Protestant, Lutheran, and very religious, so mad that they start fighting from the...
Disownment?
Not quite, but close to. So then, I grew up with my mother and with babysitters and so on. Mm-hmm. And then my mother had a boyfriend. And at that point...
She was a rebel.
Well... And
not
at that
married. Time, Come on now.
And in 1949, that was a big deal still, even in America.
No, my goodness.
So then my real father wanted custody of me.
Mm-hmm.
So my mother and my later stepfather split up on a Sunday night. And it took my mother 3 months to find out what happened to him. Even so, she was part of the Communist Party. She knew party members. Everything she could not find out. He disappeared off the face of the earth.
By aliens, maybe, you think?
Yes. Now, here's the irony of that. Later on, after the wall came down and everything, I actually looked at Google Earth, where we were living, in the prison from the Stasi, where he was tortured and incarcerated, was about 1.5 miles apart.
And thus, that's how people disappear.
And so it took
right around the corner.
3 months for her to realize that the East German secret police had actually captured him, tortured him, accusing him to be a spy for the West. Because if he was a spy for the West, if my mother wants to keep the relationship with her, that would prove that she was not able politically to educate me correctly, and that would give my real father custody of me.
Wow, that's some interesting stuff going on there.
That's communism. Now here comes the interesting story.
Oh, okay. Now the interesting story.
Now the interesting story comes. The day of the trial, I was staying at my grandparents on my father's side.
Mm-hmm.
A social worker came visit me. By the way, my mother was allowed to see me once a week for 1 hour supervised at that time for about half a year, 9 months. So then the social worker came visiting me and asked my grandfather, what happened at the trial today? He says, I have no idea. Let me call the DA. He had the secret number of the district attorney. Which
Secret.
in Germany, we don't have many secret numbers, like unlisted numbers here. In Germany, it's very rare to have these numbers even given out. So he called, come back and says, yes, he got 9 years hard labor.
Was he in a concentration camp or something?
No. That was what grandfather said the judgment was. You want to know the rest of the story?
I don't know. Do we want to know the rest of the story?
I mean, it is your show.
On that day, our lawyer was sick.
Oh, that was convenient.
No. That day there was no trial.
What?
That means the judge and the district attorney
Conjured up something.
Predetermined the sentence of my stepfather. It was an arranged trial.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Politics.
No, that's
law.
No,
judicial system.
No, you don't get stuff like this in the West. You only get this in dictatorships.
Well, sometimes I wonder if it's over borderline here at times.
No, not to that extent.
No, not to that extent. Of
Sorry.
course not.
So with that knowledge, my mother went to the Attorney General of East Germany, got the judge kicked out of the case and reassigned down to the things in the DA. He still got 2.5 years. But with time served, so we went over right after that trial was over. We went over in March of 56, and he followed for Christmas. But then, of course, he was the bad boy of the family.
Right.
So he wasn't allowed to stay with my grandparents' house. So he stayed in a refugee camp by himself at first. And then my mother married him. And then my grandfathers had a beautiful 3-bedroom house. And 15 miles away were the barracks, where we stayed with 3 families in one room.
Sounds
in a refugee
cozy.
camp.
That was the real world back then.
3 families with children in one room, separated by blankets. 9 months, and that was short. Most people stayed there for 2 years.
Can you imagine? Now that's a reality show for you.
This is terrible.
No, but I mean, that's how I grew up.
That's life over in Germany.
It not that just in a refugee camp, okay. But it was 10 miles away from a 3-bedroom house, which stayed empty except for the 2 adults who lived in there. We could have easily stayed with them until the apartment came ready. And then we moved to Cologne because that's where the apartment was for us. And then, from there on,
crazy.
It continued on. Then my mother finally divorced my stepfather for the obvious reasons we talked earlier.
Yeah.
She blamed him for a lot of things which were her
So
faults.
then you ended up here. And what had you done before you decided to take the speaker's path?
Oh, wow. Well, I ended up here in Germany then. Basically, when I had my fallout with my mother, I had no money. So I stayed with a friend's family. He was American. He had 2 kids. So I was babysitting and had a roof to sleep on and trained to be cab driver. Then I was 8-year cab driver in Munich. Mainly because at that time it was incredibly good money. And then we came to America. I got involved a little bit in some management things. Thought I missed Germany, went back, found out I didn't. Took me a year to get the money, and then I moved here for good. So I moved here in 80 first time, and then I came back in early 85. And then I started in Los Angeles, was in the jewelry business.
Business? What type of jewelry did you have?
First I did solar panel selling, and that didn't work very well.
Well, solar paneling now I think is going to really get a comeback because everybody is
wanting
to do sustainable
Reagan,
living.
That was under Reagan when he gave all the free panels away. The
tax
benefits.
My parents had solar paneling, and then they stopped.
So, but it took me a little while to figure out that the Hispanics selling the Hispanics did all the business for the company, and the rest we didn't make anything. So. And then friends of mine, they knew somebody who had a small jewelry company, like kiosk. They sold fine jewelry, but kiosk in the malls and so on.
Right.
So I started off as a salesperson first, and then because I know the people and they knew me, so within a short time, I became district manager for whole Southern
So
California.
you have like that type of interaction constantly with people, and that helped you
Always.
with your speaking background.
Of course.
And so now that you've hooked up with
And then,
Steven,
then I was in the jewelry business.
Mhm.
Then I opened my own. I opened my own jewelry store eventually in Lubbock and moved it here to Tampa.
diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Right. Ask my wife. And then when the jewelry here didn't work so well, then we opened the Schnitzel House, the German restaurant.
The Schnitzel. Where was that located?
Waters on Manhattan.
Oh.
We were there for 16 years.
You went there, right, when you were a baby?
Oh, my dad talks about that all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Well, now you could tell him you met the real
owner.
guy.
And then he has to come to the Strudel King because it's the same sausages and the same sauerkraut and the same strudel.
Oh, we'll go.
Yeah, go to
Yeah.
the Strudel
But
King,
it's carry
man.
out only. It's not sit down. No, I'm just warning you. So that gets us full speed, all the way around. And then there's stories like, things are supposed to happen even when we open the restaurant. Things
Oh,
which,
right.
we had $5,000 to open the restaurant.
And then he was able to make 10,000. I don't know.
No, no.
But what do you talk about when you do your speaking engagements? Do you tell your stories about your life or
Partially tell the stories about my life, partially about customer service and mental toughness, combination of all.
Oh, so did you make like a business plan as to
I did,
decide about it or
but it never came. I mean, let me put it this way. If I had done it the right way, kept the restaurant open a little bit longer until I really got my feet wet in the speaking business, would have been a lot smarter.
gotcha. Well, you're kind of doing it differently with your Strudel King,
Right,
and
so we're
everything.
reestablishing ourselves. We're getting back to a lot of our old customers. We're shipping nationwide at strudelkingtampa.com.
So do you make all these yourself, or do
the
you
strudel I make myself
with your own hands?
with my own 2 hands, yes. And my arms attached to the hands.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I like how this is pretty nice of you. I noticed that you put Susie and Mike. You didn't put yourself and Susie. Like
I'm
you put
married.
I know, but the thing of it is, there's a lot of people that'll put the husband first and then the wife, but you're very nice. You put your wife first and then yourself. You
Yeah.
must really love her.
Well, after 26 years, I should.
Yeah, that
Yesterday,
must
it was 26 years.
Aw, congratulations. Very good. That must have been so interesting that you met her and got her through a mail catalog. How was it getting to know each other?
Took a while.
I mean, did you guys go through a lot of challenging times?
I'm German.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
You will.
Yes,
know.
definitely.
And we had good times and bad times. Money was always, for most of the time, tight.
Gotcha. I
So
see.
that also doesn't help to have good times.
Awesome. Well, everybody, we're going to take a quick little break, and we'll be right back after these quick tunes.
I know.
Welcome back. Did you like those tunes? I hope you got stretching and dancing.
I know I
because-
did.
Yeah, you were. He was totally grooving over there. And now we're back to get down to the nitty gritty as to why Mr. Jacoby contacted me to recruit me or something. Isogenics, Fat Loser. Is it all combined? Isogenics. That seems to be coming around because I had somebody else approach me about it.
Okay.
Give me a number to contact, which I've been bad and I did not contact that person. So I should probably do it because that's network marketing and I suck at network marketing.
You don't.
I do.
You don't because you're just doing it.
I'm doing it, but it's only on my terms.
Of course. It's the only way it can work.
So anyway, tell me the spiel that you were going to tell me on the phone, but we might as well just do it live right now.
First of all, you mentioned the company Isogenics.
Yes.
There's a reason behind it.
It's really good genics.
It is in business for almost 12 years now.
Under the table?
They're making over $400 million in sales. Most of them US. They are international, but most of the sales are still here. And network marketing got a bad rap for one reason. Too many people start selling products which you don't sell with network marketing. You can't sell insurance plans. You can't sell vacation homes and all that, or air conditioned system with network marketing. The only thing network marketing was ever designed to do is reusable products. That's why Amway became so famous. Avon, Mary Kay. They all have cosmetic product or household products which are used on a regular basis. Then network marketing is incredibly powerful.
I tried Quickstar at one point.
Right.
And then I realized, nope. And then, like, many years later, I tried another one, Sensi, which was pretty cool. And then, I'm squirrel.
You see, I was actually the 6th Amway direct distributor in Germany.
Oh.
Right after they started. But that's a different story.
It's a different story. Come on, focus.
Here's the whole idea. Isogenics, if you really look into the products, do have not just good shakes.
I tried Body by Vi shakes. Those are pretty good. Just saying.
They not have good shakes. They have a whole system.
You might be switching.
No, he won't.
He does Body by Vi.
No, he won't.
Body by Vi is actually one of my sponsors on my show.
Actually, he won't be switching.
Why?
Because I'm talking about cosmetic products.
Isogenics.
You see?
5 minutes.
Okay.
Give me the 2-minute spiel.
That's what I'm trying to do. We have anti-aging products. We have detoxification products which will cleanse your cells so you can actually lose the weight. We strongly encourage you to have a good exercise program. We have people who I think, over 400 people who lost over 100 pounds. We have several people who lost over 300 pounds and kept it off. It gives you a tremendous amount of energy. Like I lost almost 60 pounds.
Really?
Yes. I was
You don't strike me as a chubby
235 at one time.
Oh, the schnitzel got to you, huh?
So, of course. And on the other hand, it has one of the best payout systems there's out there. And here's the thing which will excite you the most.
Maybe.
80% of the successful isogenic people are women.
Yeah, it doesn't really do anything for me because I've heard that before with other stuff.
But you see what you haven't heard, and that's where Steve Seabold gets involved.
Yeah.
And that's why this book is involved. We, in our team, what we call the Think Rich team from Steve Seabold, we give you the mental toughness training for yourself and for your team to keep on the diet. And that what makes our team different from anybody in the industry anywhere. Because that is the purpose of the Fat Loser book, to help you train your team up to keep the mental focus on their weight loss, on their diet, and on their success. That
Interesting.
is what makes that idea, and that's the only reason I'm involved.
Gotcha.
Because I have worked network marketing in the past. I wasn't very impressed. I'm very impressed about the company. I'm very impressed how the uplines work with you past Steve. I've I was at the convention last year. I worked the guy who actually got Steve involved in it. We talk almost every day, either on the phone or was Facebook messages and so on. Incredible, wonderful people to work with. We're going to start a team down in Malaysia, and we have one of our 3 higher ups down there right now, and she's helping me out over there to get the team established.
Fantastic.
It is a really teamwork effort in a degree I have very, very rarely seen in other companies. And that's why they're successful, and that's why it's a good company. And the payouts weekly on a debit card.
Weekly. Everybody needs something weekly, but we are actually out of time, everybody. And thank you.
Thank you
for appearing.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.
It was fabulous to have you. Everybody, if you're interested in getting with Mike Jacoby, how can people get a hold of you?
Just download the book at fatloser.com/Jacoby, Jacobi. I'll get your information, your email and phone information, and I'll contact you.
Awesome. I hope you all enjoyed the show. We'll see you next Thursday from 2 to 3 and 7 to 8 with Momma J. Bye.